When working with tax tables, you will need to study the following table, but let's do some examples to see how this works. First of all, we will do tax tables forwards. Let's do an example. If an individual earns 60,000 Rand per month, I will have to start by finding out what his annual income will be. So this is step 1. So if that's per month, then for 12 months, it means that he earns 720,000 Rand. And you can write there that's per annum. So the first thing was to find his annual salary. Once I have his annual salary, I can look in the left-hand side of the column of the tax table, which will always be given to you, to see in which column he falls into. So 720 is in this last column over here. And then we need to follow the formula in the right-hand column. So in the right-hand column, it is this formula, which we're going to do next. So in step 2, we're going to say 195,212 plus 40%, which is 40 over 100, times his salary amount that is more than that. So we can put this in little brackets. 720, his salary, minus 673,100, because we want to see how much more his salary is than the bracket they give us. And once we type this in on our calculator, we get an amount of 213,972. But now at this stage, we are not done. We have to look at the rebates. So most people just get the primary rebates unless it is stated that they are over the age of 65 or over the age of 75. So let's say that this person is not over the age of 65. So remember that a rebate is money that you get back, so it makes your tax less, and that's why we need to subtract it from the tax we just calculated. So we're going to subtract 12,726, leaving us with an amount of 201,246 Rand. And this is his tax per annum. Now, sometimes we will ask the tax per annum and sometimes we will ask the monthly tax. If I'm asking for the monthly tax, our last step will be to divide our annual tax by 12. And if I do this, I get an amount of 16,770 Rand and 50 cents. Don't forget that 0. And this is his tax per month. So let's go through that steps again. If they give you the monthly salary, you will first of all need to find out what the annual salary is. Once you have the annual salary, you will look in the left-hand column to see where that fits into. The right-hand column will then give you the formula that you need to use. Once you found the answer by using the formula, you will subtract the rebate. And if they ask for the monthly tax, you will then have to divide by 12. Now that you know tax forwards, let's do tax backwards. So let's say that it is given let's take an example of paying 2,500 Rand tax per month. Now remember, the table works with annual salary and annual tax. Therefore, the first thing I'm going to do is find out what his annual tax is. So I'm going to do that by multiplying by 12, which gives me 30,000. Okay, so that's annual tax. But remember, this is the amount after the rebate has been subtracted. So in order to find out what it was before the rebate was subtracted, I need to add the rebates. Remember, when I work out what the tax is, I subtract the rebate because it makes it less. But when I have the tax and I want to find out what the salary was, I'm doing everything in reverse. That's the reason why I'm adding the tax onto the rebate onto the tax. So if I say 30,000 Rand, I'm now adding the rebate of 12,726, and that gives me an amount of 42,726. Now in your table, the right hand column tells you the tax amounts, while the left hand column tells you the salary amounts. So when you have the tax, like we have here, the 42,000, I need to look in the right hand column and see where it fits into. So in my second column, it is any amount above 31,419, and in the third one, it's any amount above 55,000. So because our tax that we're paying is 42,000, we're fitting into this column over here. Okay, so that is step 3, doing everything in reverse. So I write down the formula like I did when I worked forwards, plus 25 over 100 times, and remember this was the point where we have the salaries, so you could just put a block here or an X, whatever makes you feel comfortable. And once I do this, I should get the answer of 42,726. So when I do this backwards, I'm going to start with the answer, and I'm going to minus 31,419. I'm going to see what that answer is and divide by 25%. And once I have that, I'm going to add 174,550. So as you can see, when it was plus, I minused, when it was times, I divide, and when it was minus, I was plussing. I'm just doing everything in reverse, and if I do that, I get 219,778 Rand per annum. So sometimes they might ask you what the monthly salary is, or if they just ask you what the annual salary is, this will be your answer.